Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Profit Minds podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Stephen 𝐏𝐻𝐻, creator of the Profit Minds Growth System, a unique blend of profit growth, productivity acceleration, and building robust business process for scale. In every episode, I interview entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world with a unique story to tell. You can find the show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. Well, hello, everyone. Today, my guest is Shalin Desai, Director of Programs for the Art of Living Foundation. And today, we're going to talk about how breathwork and meditation can help you in your business. Welcome, Shalin.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, you have a fascinating story. I would love for you to share how you got here with our listeners.
Sure. So I've been practicing the breath work and teaching the breath work. I've been practicing for about 30 years.
Wow.
And I started teaching it about 21 years ago. And I got into it at the age of 16. My mother had learned this Art of Living's, the foundation that I'm part of, Art of Living's sky breathing, and she did it and she loved it. And she got me and my brother into it. And, at the age of 16, you don't care much about breath work and meditation. At least I did not. And, but because I'm close with my mom, and she's asked, like, give it a shot. I gave it a fair shot, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to just go for this course. It's in the evenings anyways. I'm just going to take 4-day long course. And then, if I get something, I get something out of it. But on the second day of the course, when I learned the sky breathing, it just blew me away. It blew me. I'd never ever experienced this kind of calm and peace in my 16, 17 years old of age of life till then. And I remember that day I came home and I went to sleep, I went to bed. And next day morning, I woke up. I'd never experienced that kind of freshness before. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then I continued doing it because I saw that it was helping me with my academics. I did not have to spend a lot of time doing my schoolwork, compared to my friends. I realized that my focus was more, my concentration was more. By putting in less efforts, I started getting better grades. And so I continued doing it, talking about the business aspect of our lives. And as I would always think that, this is a very good ROI. I practice 25 minutes every day, and I'm getting so much more time during the day. I'm able to get so much more done. So I'm like, this is a great return on my investment of time. I'm just putting 25 minutes of my time in there, and I'm able to get so much done. So that's how I continued. And about in 2005, 6, it was very clear to me that I don't want to keep this to myself. I want to share this with more people. And that's when I became an instructor, and I started teaching the programs. And now with the Art of Living Foundation, I've taught programs in 63 cities around the country. So I travel quite a bit and teach the programs.
Wow. Yeah. So can you give us a little bit of a hint of the sky breathing that you're talking about, the breath
Sure.
work?
Sure. I'll just give you also brief background on where it came from and how it came from.
Sure. Yeah. I'd love to hear the history of that as well.
Yes.
That's great.
So the Art of Living Foundation is one of the world's largest volunteer-based organizations, and we have presence in 186 countries around the globe.
Wow.
And the founder of Art of Living is Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar. He's a world-renowned humanitarian and a peacemaker, and his mission is to create a stress-free and a violence-free society. So in
Mm.
1983, he went into this 10 years of silence, 10 days of silence. And in that silence, this sky breathing that is taught in the Art of Living program came to him. And when people ask him, he's like, how a poem comes to you. That's how this breathing exercise, breathing technique came to him. And then he started teaching it. And he started from this small town in southern India, and now it's become a global movement. I mean, whether it's North America, South America, Europe, even Middle East. We have most of the countries, we have programs going on. And something just people started doing it, they started liking it. And we didn't have to actually do a lot of marketing, without much marketing. It just through word of mouth, it started growing.
So really an organic movement.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's great. You can probably say how many countries that you're not in, and that's a smaller number than the
That's
one you
true.
are
That's true.
in. That's
I like
that's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and so I would love to have a little bit of a demonstration if you can, a little bit of a sort of a teaching moment of how this works, and then we could talk a little bit about how people can how they can fit it into their lives, because that's it's great to learn something new, but it doesn't really do you any good unless you do it.
Exactly, exactly. So
So
that's very true. So the main breathing exercise that we teach in the program is called the sky breathing,
yeah.
and about 20-25 minutes practice of that every day leaves you very fresh and energetic for the entire day. Today, if you would
Hmm.
like, for your audiences, we can do a quick 4 to 5 minutes, not the sky breathing, but one of the other breathing exercises that we do in the Art of Living course, which is also pretty nice. It kind of gives you a taste of it. We can do it for your audience.
Sure. That'd be great. I do some breath work, as I told you before we came on
Yeah.
the air here. I do some breath work every day. I would love to learn new techniques and have some new things to add to my repertoire.
Sure, sure. So this breathing exercise that I'm about to show you, it's called the Sanskrit name is called Bhastrika. English name we call it the bellows breathing. So
Okay.
how you put sometimes you want to put air into the fire, you use the bellows, the blacksmith.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So same thing we do with our lungs. And what we do is anytime you have any congested nasal passages or you're feeling tired, exhausted, you just do a few rounds of this breath work and it will instantaneously energize you.
Okay.
So I'm going to show it to you and then we can do it together. Few
All
rounds.
right.
What
Great.
we'll do is we'll have loose fist by the shoulders. This is a bit vigorous, but it's very good actually. We'll have loose fist by the shoulders. And as we breathe in, the hands will go up. And I'm just going to change my camera. And the fists open up like this. The fists open up when the
Okay.
hands
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when the hands come down and the fists close. And what we do is we are breathing in and out at a moderate pace, and the hands are going up and down. We're breathing out forcefully, breathing in and out forcefully, and the hands are going up and down at a moderate pace. So I'm just going to show it to demo it to you once.
Okay. Great.
So I'm going to change the camera so you can see me.
So you're breathing in as you go up and
Yes.
opening the hands, and then breathing out as you pull down, and it's always through your nose. No
Always
mouth
through the
and
nose. Yeah. No
mouth is
mouth
not
breathing.
involved.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all your listeners, get yourself some space. Here we go.
Yes.
You
So we'll have
ready?
loose fist by the shoulders. Just a normal breath in and out. And for the bellows breathing, breathe in, out, hands up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Continue. And relax. Rest your palms on your knees, palms facing the ceiling, and just relax completely. We'll do one more round. Loose fists by the shoulders, normal breath in, and breathe out. And breathe in, out, in, out, in, out. Continue. And relax. Relax your breath. And slowly and gradually, you may open your eyes.
Yeah. Wow. That was great.
Yeah. This is just like maybe 1 or 2% of what you of the sky breathing that is taught in
Okay.
doing courses. It's really incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
We we eliminate 90% of the toxins of our body through our breath, yet we only use 30% of our lungs capacity. So it's very good when you expand that and use more of our lungs.
Yeah. That's typical of most people, I think. I suspect that I use more of my lung capacity than most, in part because I'm a singer.
Oh,
And of course, when you sing, you're filling up your lungs as
yeah.
much as you can for a long phrase, and then blowing it all out. In fact, we
Yeah.
have exercises that we do
Mhm.
to, breathe in on 4 counts and then breathe out for 8 counts and
Yeah.
make sure that you've expelled all your breath in those 8 counts. And then you do it for 12 counts and then do it for 16 counts. So it's a way of, learning to regulate your breath, which is an important part of
Yeah.
singing, right? Um, but for many people, I know that this is, it's pretty shallow breathing is what we do.
Exactly. And we don't put much attention on the breath. See, there's a connection between breath and emotions. Have you observed how's the breath when you're happy and worry free?
Yeah.
It's very light,
Yes.
effortless breathing.
Yes.
When there's a frustration or long sigh, it's like a, and when there's anger, the breathing becomes fast or heated.
Right.
There's a connection between breath and emotions. For every emotion, there's a corresponding breathing pattern. And the interesting thing is that the reverse is also true. With the help of the breath, you can much better manage your emotions. And that's exactly what we do in the sky breathing, which is taught in the Art of Living program. You breathe in certain rhythms and you're able to let go of so much, and you feel naturally feel very lighter, and your mind automatically comes to a meditative state.
Yeah. It's really interesting. The people people who have anxiety or people who are frustrated, if you can just get them to slow down and breathe, breathe in intentionally, slowly, and then out slowly, and do that just a few times.
Yeah,
It makes a huge difference.
you got it.
So yeah, I love that work. How do you help people do this in the business world? How does the breath work then connect with what you're trying to help you? We talked initially, we said, we're going to talk about how breath work can help you with your business. How does that work? What's the connection there?
Yeah, great question, actually. So I do teach programs. We teach the Art of Living programs in a lot of Fortune 500 companies. And when I started teaching in this corporate world, it was an interesting experience when I initially started doing it, because employees would come because they've been asked to do it by the HR. And I've taught, leadership teams in some of those
I
big.
was told to be here.
Exactly, exactly. So there's something called malicious compliance. They
Yeah,
comply, but they want, so they have to be there. So they do it, and it's very interesting. One of these companies I was teaching the program at, it's one of the world's largest consulting firms. I'm not going to take the names, but huge firm. Everyone knows about them, and every single person who was on the course was either Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Wharton graduate, every single person. Either they were in the late 20s or early 30s. And on the first day, when I taught the program, there was a lot of skepticism, a lot of questions and everything. And then they did the breath work. And then second and then third day, when they were sharing their experiences, they were like, our employer gives us everything. We stay in the best hotels, we travel first class. This is the first time you give us the best training to deal with the stress that comes with our job.
Mm.
And for a business owner, that is so important because whether you're a small business owner, you're a medium business owner, you're trying to get so much done in such a short time, and with you have constraint over the number of resources you have. Sometimes you don't have the 10 employees to do different jobs. You have to manage with what you have and how to do it in a more efficient manner. And that's, as I was sharing earlier, that is what got me hooked onto art of living. I was able to do a lot more in the same amount of time.
Hmm.
And that is the biggest thing I've found. And naturally, when you're able to do much more, when your mind is more calm, you're naturally more pleasant. And as a business owner, you get a lot more done when you're nice to work with. People want to do business with you.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Yeah,
being calm, being present matters a lot in business conversations.
exactly, exactly.
So
So
yeah, so the biggest benefit then is reduced anxiety, reduced stress, and sort of calm demeanor. Is that?
that is exactly, and then you're able to handle uh, whatever stress comes your way in a much more calm, composed manner. You know, I love to watch football. I don't know if you watch football, but I love to watch football, and one of the quarterbacks I really admire is Tom Brady. And for the longest time, I'm from Indianapolis. It was like we were kind of it was the arch nemesis of Peyton Manning. But over a period of time, I got to admire the guy. I'm like, you know what? No matter what's coming at him, he's calm and composed. And that's what makes him who, I mean, apart from his skill sets, of course, he's
Yeah.
a really great quarterback. He can throw the ball really well. But I'm going to give this example. There's one Super Bowl that was there between Patriots and Atlanta Falcons, and
Mm.
they were like down by 21 points in the fourth quarter, and he was unfazed and he was calm, and they came back, they came from behind and won the game. And that's what sets a person apart when you're doing a business as well. When thousand things are coming at you, are being thrown at you, how you're able to keep your calm, how you're able to keep your composure, and still keep going, still keep running your business. That is one of the very important skills to run a business, to grow business.
Oh yeah. The stress can be paralyzing
Yeah,
because you can't think straight. The anxiety, those kinds of things, it messes with your brain. And the what my understanding of the brain science, and you probably know this much better than I, but the when you're in fight or flight mode, which is what happens when you're under stress, right? Your primitive brain, you know the reptilian brain, as they call it, right? It takes
yeah,
over, right? That's not where your higher functions are.
yeah, yeah. You got it. And we have more than 100 independent research studies on sky breathing. And one of the recent ones was done at the Yale University. And they found that the sky breathing among the mindfulness based stuff in Yale's own emotional intelligence program, they found the sky breathing was the most effective in bringing down the anxiety, bringing down the stress hormone cortisol. It increased the well-being hormone. So there's a lot of science behind what we do because you know you're a PhD. I'm an engineer by profession. I have a master's in engineering. For me, when I started doing it, I'm like, how does this work? What's the logic? What's the science behind it? So that got me very intrigued behind it. And that's when I saw the studies and all, I'm like, wow, this is what it is. It actually brings down your cortisol, your stress hormone.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend that people incorporate this into their lives?
It's simple. They can. they can go to our website, artofliving.org. And there are a bunch of, we have programs around the country, actually, around the country. We teach our programs in person or online. They can take either one of them. And when they go on the website, there are also some complimentary guided meditations that are there. They can even start practicing that and start, getting accustomed to do it. Start using it. It's like a tool that you need to have in a toolbox.
Yes, yes. And do you recommend that people do this first thing in the morning, right before they go to bed? What's the best time of day to do that, to do the breathing?
I tell people, you take shower, body hygiene, you brush your teeth, dental hygiene, and your breathing exercise is the mental hygiene. So it's like, you do it. I personally do it every morning for 20, 25 minutes. And throughout the day, I feel like so much more energy, a lot more enthusiasm and drive and all. So it just helps.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing. And that concludes our show. Thanks so much to my guest, Shalin Desai, the Director of Programs for the Art of Living Foundation. I hope you learned something about how breathwork and meditation can help you in your business. I know I did. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to the Profit Minds podcast. This is your host, Dr. Stephen 𝐏𝐻𝐿. Please visit www.profitminds.net for other episodes or to contact me. Thank you for your positive feedback, comments, questions, and for sharing this show with others. Thanks for listening. Have a grateful day.